Okay, so I feel like I haven't chatted on the variable rate for quite a few weeks, and so my apologies. We're doing much more regular videos, and we still intend to do a weekly kind of update here, but we're a little behind. So this Wednesday, coming Wednesday, in March, is the Bank of Canada meeting. It is widely predicted and widely held that the rate hikes are done, and nothing is indicating the contrary. Economic data has shown that everything has slowed meaningfully. I'm still not ruling out the fact that inflation could fall very low off the edge, but the Bank of Canada does think that they're going to hit that 3% inflation rate towards the fall. Now, the question we get a lot of right now is how long? So I do think that rates are static. So rates are where they are. We're not seeing an off movement in the bond yield market. So you should really think about that where rates are at right now is where rates are going to be at for a year. So if rates are going to be out like that for a year, like what are you going to do? What does that mean? If we can't be banking on a decrease in the payment, so to speak, anymore. I think that a few unpopular things, but are things that you need to know, and I believe where payments should be a comfortable number for you. And a comfortable number means that even though it might not be ideal to pay that rate, but if you don't want to pay that, you're going to have to adjust yourself accordingly. Now, Joel, are you saying that rates will be like this forever? No, I hope that rates do go down. I hope that your payment is lower. But I don't think you should build your margin on this being, where it is. If you're finding that payment is uncomfortable, it just means you're going to have to look to see if you're willing to do things like if there is capacity to increase your income. The most common way people might take on roommates or whatever it is that something you're willing to do at that price point? Do you have imminent income coming in? Like, are you getting a raise, or are you going to see an increase in income? All those things are things to be considered. Are you going to have less debt, whatever that might look like? 2, maybe you're coming into a bunch of cash. Like a lot of people talk about coming into inheritances. Maybe you can put a lump sum down in your payment. That would be a reduction of payment as well. If those things, and we could talk in length. There's a whole list of things we could do. That you could do, if those things are not in your wheelhouse, an advantage of a slower market would be, if the market's slower, I can downsize slower too. So I might need to look at doing less house or whatever it is, from that perspective. So that's where rates kind of sit today. Now, as far as purchasing, you need to know that the purchase market indicates that there is not a lot of activity going on. There's not a lot of sales. There seems to be a lot of activity. So a lot of people calling, a lot of people inquiring, but not a lot of sales. And so if you're buying a home right now, as a completely other tangent, I would say it is possible after we see this week go by and there's no rate changes, it's certainly possible that we see some more meaningful activity in the market. But when you're buying a home, we're seeing so much strange activity that I want you to really consider that there is pockets that do well, there are cities that do well, but back up your decisions with data. That is one thing I'm seeing way too much. Like if you are being encouraged by a realtor to go above asking, have them show the comparables from the market. And so you can you can start to understand why you're going above asking, and if that makes sense, because, I think a lot of people, and this is not on the realtor, it's on, as a client, you want to inquire, what do house prices sell for in that range? And so you can make some educated decisions from that perspective, because you might find if a realtor tells you to go 50 grand above asking, that you may find that you think that's really, that you're like, no, wait for another house in the neighborhood, only to find that house in the neighborhood for that price. Now, I also find that there's not a lot of houses going above asking or anything like that, but I also find a lot of people are throwing caution to the wind, and they're offering on things that there isn't a lot of activity on. So anyway, it just goes to show, when you're offering and buying a home, base it on the data for your specific area or your city. Don't just take the opinion of what people say, even your realtor for that matter. Don't just take my opinion when I give you advice. Like, make me back it up with data. Back it up with data. Show me the comparables. Show me the recent sales, all those types of things. If I'm looking to refinancing, we are coming to a situation now where we've had rates higher for 1 year's time. It means that, like, at very best, you have a low rate of 4 years or less. If you're hanging on to high interest debt, if you're delaying doing a renovation or something that's going to meaningfully change your financial situation, now is the time to refinance your home, because you are not, if you're on a variable, you're already there, but your fixed rate is going to come due anyway. So if you have a low rate now is your time to redo it. You can also consider, if you've refinanced and you got a rate like prime and a quarter, you could maybe transfer it for a prime -1. That's just a weird loophole in the system. Anyway, we remain available to help you with any questions or concerns you have. This is your very ready for this update. Please reach out to me if you have any questions. We'd be happy to help you with anything. And if you have a friend that could benefit from this information, please pass it on to them. We'd love to help them out as well. Talk to you soon. Bye.